Astro Amigos, welcome back to Astrology with Ninad. In this video, I am going to discuss the detailed monthly horoscope prediction for the month of August 2025 for all the 12 signs of the zodiac. My predictions are mainly based on your ascendant sign, which is known as the Lagna Rashi or rising sign. You can also see the prediction from your moon sign, which is known as the Chandra Rashi. If you don't know your signs, I highly recommend going to an online Vedic birth chart calculator, plugging in your birth details and finding out those signs and watching according to that. Now, before I get to the actual prediction part, which will include major life areas such as career, health, finance, marriage, travel, education, and much more for all the signs, let me take a few minutes to tell you the exact planetary placement and alignment this month. Starting with Jupiter, it will be transiting in the sign of Gemini all month long. It will also be conjunct with the other most auspicious planet, Venus. However, Venus on the 21st of August will transit to the next sign of Cancer, which is Karka Rashi. Then Saturn. It will be transiting in the sign of Pisces all month long. Rahu, the north node of the moon, will be transiting in the sign of Aquarius, which it is known to co-rule along with Saturn. Whereas its counterpart, Ketu, the south node of the moon, will be transiting in the sign of Leo all month long. Sun, the king of planets, will be transiting for the first 2 weeks in the sign of Cancer, but in the last 2 weeks, it will be transiting in its own sign of Leo and will eventually become conjunct with Ketu. That leaves us with Mercury. Mercury will be transiting practically all month long in the sign of Cancer. Moon is the fastest moving planet, so we cannot pinpoint its position because it keeps moving or traversing through the zodiac very fast as the month progresses every 2 to 3 days. So, without any further delay, I am going to dive deep into the prediction part for all the signs. I have posted the timestamps in the description box below for your convenience, so you can click on the corresponding rising or moon sign and watch accordingly. Let's get started. For my Aries Mesh Rasi friends, let's start with your career area first. Well, your career Lord Saturn is still transiting in the 12th house in the sign of Pisces. Then Sun, the king of planets, will continue to maintain pressure on your career house in the first 2 weeks because of its enemy aspect on your career house, on your professional life. So you need to be watchful of your overall interactions. You need to take it a bit easy, avoid getting into too much confrontations, arguments, disputes, especially with your superiors, with upper management, right? Try to take it a bit easy because the last 2 weeks there will be relief on the cards for you, and slow and steady progression can be felt. Jupiter's beneficial aspect on the ninth house of Bhagya, along with Venus, will try to maintain and help you progress and will try to even prevent any sudden, unexpected major issues at the workplace. So just try to remain with the status quo, keep working hard, stay focused, and you will do great. If I talk about the business area, then in terms of overall business domain, the time is looking to be fruitful because your business Lord Venus will be quite well placed throughout the month. First, it will be in the third house, in the house of Parakram. So the more hard work effort you put in, likely the results you will get. And towards the end of the month, when it will transit in the fourth house, it will become Digbali because it will gain directional strength. So naturally, it is going to be a fruitful time for the business area. If you're in a business partnership, overall things can be quite smooth and you can gain a lot of appreciation, recognition, good support, and cooperation from everyone who is working for you and with you. Even Jupiter's aspect will be on your business house, so that will be a divine protection always being there for you. If I talk about finance, in terms of finances, Rahu in your 11th house is looking to be phenomenal. Although your 11th Lord Saturn is in the 12th house, which indicates some expenses, some outflow of money, some travel related expenses, some long term investment related expenses can also be there. Overall, with your hard work, effort, parakram, Venus, your wealth lord, will definitely amplify your gains, help to increase your savings, give a boost to your finances. But keep working hard and do not give up. Keep going after your goals, ambitions, and desires, whether pertaining to your career, any self startup, any business that you are doing. If I talk about health, overall, in terms of health area, it is going to be a mediocre time because your ascendant lord will be transiting in the 6th house, which is a good placement, but it will be in the enemy sign of Virgo, and the malefic impact of Saturn will also be there on your 6th house. So try to be cautious and do not ignore any acute health issues, and make sure to get it checked up if you are suffering from any health issues. Do not let those linger, or it can create problems for you. But overall, if you are running a favorable Mahadasha, Antardasha, then lo and behold, your health area should remain positive for the most part. If I talk about marriage, in terms of those people wanting to get married this month, the time is looking good. What we say, the Muhurat is looking quite positive because, again, your marriage lord Venus will be strongly placed throughout the month. And for those people who were not finding the right proposals, alliances, now finally those might start coming your way. It could be through your siblings, through your neighbors, through your social network, through your social media, through people who are in your general surroundings, in your everyday work life routine. It could even be through your family members, through you can even possibly connect with someone you grew up with, and now you might reconnect after like 20-25 years, and you know maybe love can blossom or something. So things around those lines can start to favor you in terms of the marriage area. And for those couples already married, the time is looking to be exceptional this month. It is going to be filled with a lot of love, romance, happiness, good communication, and you should, make the most of it. If I talk about education, in terms of primary education, for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is going to be quite good for you. You are going to do very well because Sun's impact in your 4th house in the first 2 weeks, along with Mercury, especially, is looking to be phenomenal for acing your examinations and doing very well. As if you compare it to the higher education field, for those students pursuing master's, PhD program, postdoc, again, the time is going to be excellent. You will have ample energy, drive to get things done. So really, you can make a strong mark in your academic field. So go for it. If I talk about travel, in terms of short distance travel journeys, the time is looking to be quite positive throughout the month. And the same can be said for any long distance travel journey vacation that you were planning to. Now is the time to embark on it. Finally, children. If I talk about the progeny area for those women looking to conceive, then you will start to get some good support from the 17th of August onwards. So the time is looking good then. But still, you know, This is from a general perspective. You need to make sure your natal birth chart, your Mahadasha, Antardasha is supportive for this aspect as well. Finally, for those people who have children, and if there were a lot of issues in your relationship with them, there is going to be a key window of opportunity after August 17 to talk things out, to sort out any issues that are pending, and to get back on the same page together. So it is looking to be a good time for bonding with your children, and overall, the time can be quite enjoyable as well. So I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Aries Mesh Rashi friends, and I hope you have a nice month of August. For my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first this month. Well, you still have Rahu transiting in your career house itself, whereas your actual career lord Saturn is transiting in the 11th house. And then Jupiter's aspect is also on the career house as well. All these three factors are quite positive. But then one slightly concerning part is in the last 2 weeks of this month, Sun will transit in the fourth house from where it will directly aspect the career house and in turn Rahu, which is a strong enemy planet. So the first 2 weeks are going to be a breeze. You are going to make excellent progress, achieve a lot of good recognition, and do very well in your professional life. And it can be a great time for unemployed people to land a new job opportunity as well. But in the last 2 weeks, there can be some pressure created at the workplace. It could be office politics. It could mean, getting entangled into any disputes, arguments with your bosses, with your higher ups. So that is where you need to be cautious. Try to maintain a low key profile and try to avoid getting entangled into any sort of arguments, quarrels, or disputes, especially with the upper management and superiors. Otherwise, there could be some issues. So be watchful of that in the last 2 weeks. If I talk about business, in terms of the business area, the time is going to be, you can say, fruitful for the most part because your business lord Mars will be transiting in the auspicious trine house, the fifth house. But you need to be very firm with your decision making. Try not to make any impulsive, hasty decisions. Or even you might have a double mind about certain decisions. In one moment, you might think of taking a certain decision. In the next moment, you might think of doing completely the opposite. And that can get you in trouble. That can create problems in your business day to day activities. So you need to really do your due diligence, take your time, do not rush into anything, and then only carefully make or implement your business decisions. And that way you will do fine. If I talk about finance, in terms of finances, the time is looking very strong, at least till August 20th. You can say the first 3 weeks, literally, you will have Jupiter Venus in your Dhanastan. So, naturally, wealth accumulation, increase in finances, bank balance, all these things can start to play out. Even in the last week or so, it is going to be good for you. No major issues seen. Just be very careful with risky speculative investments and really do your due diligence before investing in high risky, you know, type of assets. Otherwise, you could even suffer from losses. If I talk about health, in terms of health area, the time is looking to be quite positive. You literally have Jupiter's blessings on your sixth, eighth houses. So, no major health concerns are foreseen. Just eat the right kind of food, do your regular exercise, and just lead a good, common sense, healthy lifestyle, and you will maintain top health. If I talk about love life, Then, in terms of those people who are single wanting to get into a relationship, the time is not looking that favorable this month. I will say be a bit cautious and do not be impulsive. Wait for a better time. And for those couples already in a relationship, there can be some intensity felt this month, whether it is, you know, to do with responsibility, whether it is to do with taking accountability. But there can be some quarrels, tiffs, arguments, disputes that can happen between couples. So you need to watch out for that. Try to tone down the fiery element that Mars is increasing in your fifth house of relationships. Doing some yoga, meditation, pranayama will be beneficial for the same. If I talk about marriage in terms of those single people wanting to get married, this is a time where you can start to seek or get proposals because your marriage lord is in the fifth house, but they might not be the right ones for you. So again, do not be impulsive or hasty in the marriage related area as well. And for those couples already dating, right, they might actually think of even getting married this month because the seventh lord is in the fifth house. So here both the relationship houses are getting activated. So marriage could be on the cards for some people. And those married couples can experience a lot of love, harmony, enjoyment, as well as there can be, again, as I said, some dual minded decisions that can create uncertainties in your married life, which you need to be cautious of. If I talk about education, in terms of primary education for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is going to be quite good in the second last 2 weeks of this month. In the first 2 weeks, it is going to be a tough time. Whereas for higher education, for those students pursuing master's, PhD program, postdoc, the time is looking excellent, especially in the last 2 weeks. Even in the first 2 weeks, it is going to be quite good, but in the last 2 weeks, it will be even better. And especially in the first 2 weeks, try to avoid getting into any unnecessary confrontation or any type of disputes with your professors, with your higher ups. If I talk about travel, in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is going to be quite positive throughout the month. And in terms of long distance travel journey vacation, the last 2 weeks will be very supportive for the same. If I talk about children, for in terms of progeny area, for those women looking to conceive, it is not the right month for that. It is not going to be a supportive time. Mars placement in the fifth is not a good time for progeny related area. So you need to be patient and wait for a better time. For those people who have children, then you need to be very tactful in dealing with them because they can exhibit a bit of aggressiveness, moodiness, temperamental, having kind of a double mind or uh, dual kind of decision making, which can kind of create some conflicts. So you need to work things out through calmly and peacefully, which will help to keep the balance in your relationship with your children. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends, and I wish you the best. For my Gemini Mithun Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first. Well, your career lord, Jupiter, is now very strong in your ascendant itself. It is Digbali, and for a majority of this month, it will be in conjunction with your fifth lord, Venus, as well. So, very positive time is indicated because even Saturn's well placed in your career house itself, being the lord of your destiny, luck, and fortune. But only one slight problematic part is that Mars will be in your fourth house from where it will directly aspect the 10th house of career and Saturn. And as we all know, Mars and Saturn are not the best of friends. Both have malefic planets and have very strong, intense malefic aspects. And Mars also controls your sixth house. So naturally, there could be some issues from your subordinates, from your colleagues, from any type of hidden enemies, right? They can try to stir up trouble, create issues for you in your professional life. So the best way for this is to be fully focused on your duties, tasks, and projects. Avoid getting entangled into any office politics, gossiping, arguments, quarrels, disputes, and keep working hard. And that way, you will be able to sail smoothly through this period. And if you follow these certain rules, then you can have a very good month career wise as well. For those unemployed people, this is a great time to really start applying to interviews, or applying to jobs that you desire. And in the coming time, even giving interviews will be quite favorable. If I talk about business area, then it is one of the best periods for your business growth, success, luck, expansion, better business decision making ability, because the business lord itself will be aspecting the business house along with the fifth lord. So naturally, your intelligence, your decision making, your gut feeling, your intuition will be stronger than ever before in making the right decisions for your future business success and growth. Business partnerships will also be quite good during this time period. With your working together as a cohesive team unit, you will be able to achieve a lot and do very well for your day to day business activities. If I talk about finance, then a great month overall for finances, because your ascendant Lord Mercury itself will be transiting all month long in the wealth house itself, in the Dhanasthana. And even your 11th lord will be in the fourth, from where it will aspect the 11th house, which means that gain of inflow of money along with wealth accumulation and savings and increase in bank balance is looking to be very strong this month. If I talk about health area, then in terms of health, overall the time is looking to be very good. I do not foresee any major concerns as such. Just be a bit cautious when driving your vehicle. Do not speed and drive. Also, for those people who are very old and have maybe any heart ailment type issues, then you need to take care of your heart and chest region. And other than that, health area is looking to be great. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a new relationship, this is one of the best periods, and there is no surprise if you find love this month. For those couples already in a relationship, the love is going to blossom. You're going to have a phenomenal time with your partner. Your fifth lord is going to be placed very well throughout the month. So, no surprise if you have one of the best times in your romantic department. If I talk about marriage, again, a great time. Jupiter, ruler of the marriage house itself, directly aspecting the marriage house, it being Digbali, naturally indicates great support for single people to find the right alliances, proposals, matches in the hopes of getting married. A lot of people might actually even get married this month. Overall, the time is looking phenomenal for marriage related events and activities. And also, those couples already married will also have a lot of harmony, bliss, peace, and love and care and affection in their married life. So make the most of it. If I talk about education in terms of primary education, for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is going to be a bit distraction filled, like where you might have a lot of energy, ample energy, but you might want to go out, play sports, or just enjoy life and not worry about studies. So it is a matter of priorities, where you need to decide whether academics is your priority or whether extracurricular stuff is your priority. If I talk about higher education in terms of those students pursuing master's, PhD program, postdoc, the time is looking to be great as long as you do not succumb to temptations, do not do anything wrong or immoral. I think you can have a great time, especially if you are thinking of studying in a foreign land, abroad, higher education wise. It can be one of the best periods for you. And especially if you are enrolled in the study of technology, AI, any type of these novel technological fields, IT, then it will be the best period for you. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journeys, the time in the second half of the month is looking to be very good for you, while the first half is not as conducive. In terms of long distance travel journey vacation, the time in the first 2 weeks is looking to be much better than the last 2 weeks. Finally, children. In terms of children, specifically the progeny area for those women looking to conceive, this is one of the best months for that. It is looking good from a general planetary perspective. But of course, you need to make sure your natal chart, your Mahadasha, Antardasha, all these factors support the same. Finally, those people who already have children, your relationship with them will be very smooth, very the affection will be at an all-time high, and you can spend some wonderful, memorable moments with them. So I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Gemini friends, and I wish you the very best. For my Cancer Karka Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first. Well, your career lord Mars will be strongly placed in the third house this month, which is a Upachaya Bhava. It is Mars' favorite house, you can say, because it is a house which denotes parakram, bravery, courage, right? Leadership ability and skills. So, overall, this placement is very conducive for your growth, success at the workplace. But still, it is in the enemy sign of Virgo, which indicates duality. So you need to be very firm in taking important career related decisions. It is not in your best interest to act with duality because that can be a deadly combination because Mars is a fiery energy. And when you combine it with dual nature, then basically you might take impulsive, hasty decisions, which then could be regretted later. So instead, be focused, be calm, patient, and take decisions accordingly after carefully thinking things through. If you do that, you are going to have a successful month career wise. And for those people who don't have a job, I recommend keep applying, give lots of interviews. With your hard work, with your effort, you can certainly land a new job opportunity. If I talk about business, then overall the business area is going to be quite favorable this month. Reason being, your business lord Saturn is well placed in the Bhagyastan, as well as the natural significator of business, which is Mercury, is directly aspecting the seventh house of business itself. So, overall, there is good support for business related activities. And if you are running a good Mahadasha, Antardasha, or you're running the major period of Saturn, or minor period of Mercury, or major period of Mercury, then you can have a very successful month business wise. If I talk about finance, then overall for finances, the last 2 weeks of the month are looking to be more positive as compared to the first 2 weeks. So plan accordingly, make wise financial decisions and investments. Be careful with your money because Ketu is in the second house of wealth. So you need to be very prudent in making wise financial decisions. But the last 2 weeks of this month will be stronger financially. And although there will be some expenses involved as well, since your 11th Lord will be in the 12th house, but if you budget accordingly, you properly control your expenses, then you can have good wealth accumulation this month as the month keeps progressing forward. If I talk about health, then overall, for the health area, it is going to be a good month because you have Jupiter's protection on your sixth and eighth house, and it is helping to nullify Saturn's impact. So, naturally, health area should be good. And as long as you follow everyday common sense principles, eat the right kind of diet, do some exercise, yoga, meditation, pranayam, you will maintain good health. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, I will say it is not the best time. Although, if you really try hard, you could find some matches, but it might not work out for the best in the long term. So, be a bit more patient and wait for a more conducive time. If I talk about those couples already in a relationship, overall, I think you should expend your energy more, as in go out, explore, have an adventure, go and have a nice picnic or travel. Doing these things will help to channel the Martian energy in the right way. Just try to avoid too much arguments, disputes, and quarrels. If I talk about basically marriage, then for people wanting to get married, this month can be a bit tumultuous because your marriage lord Saturn will have the direct impact of Mars on it. So it can happen that it just about to happen and it breaks up or it gets cancelled. So these type of things can happen. But if you're overall running a very favorable dasha, antardasha, and all these kind of things, then maybe marriage related matters can be supported to an extent. And for those couples already married, overall you are going to have a fairly decent time unless you are running the Mangal Dasha or Bhukti. Then there can be some aggressiveness, quarrels, disputes, arguments that you might feel in your married life, which you need to control, you need to compromise, and you need to try to nullify those effects. If I talk about education in terms of primary education, for those students pursuing high school bachelors, the time is not looking that great this month because your mind can be distracted by a lot of things. But if you really focus hard, then you can do fine. If I talk about those students pursuing master's, PhD program, higher education, then again, you will need to put in a lot of hard work, effort, and then only you can get some good grades in your academics. So overall, the education field needs a bit of attention this month. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is going to be fine. Just do not speed and drive your vehicle. And in terms of long distance travel journey vacation, the time is looking to be quite good. Just do your proper planning, due diligence before heading out. And if you can take someone along with you, it will be better. If I talk about children, in terms of the progeny area for those women looking to conceive, this month is this month can be supportive if you try hard enough. It can be supportive, but again, your natal chart, Mahadasha, Antardasha, will play a major role in deciding if it actually comes to fruition. In terms of those people who already have children, it can be a great month, especially if you spend time with your kids, go outdoors, play some sports, have a nice picnic, go to an amusement park, do something which expends a lot of energy. That way, you can have a lot of good quality time with your children, and overall it will be memorable. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Cancer Karka Rashi friends, and I wish you the best. For my Leo Simha Rashi friends, let's talk about your career area first. Well, this month, your career Lord Venus will be transiting for a major part of the month in the 11th house. So, naturally, the house of gains, desires, wish fulfillment, the house of benefits from your career area. So naturally, there can be growth, appreciation, recognition, rewards, bonus, promotion, salary increment, all that can be in the store for you. So overall, a great time because Venus will also be conjunct with Jupiter, which controls your fifth house, a trine house, and overall, sky's the limit as to what can happen this month in terms of your professional life. If you're unemployed, this can be a great month to land a new job opportunity, especially in the first 3 weeks. In the last week of the month, though, there can be a sudden dip and you might feel slight stagnation, but the first 3 weeks are looking to be very progressive. So make the most of it. If I talk about business, in terms of the business area, you have Rahu in your business house, and your business lord will be impacted directly by Mars, which is Saturn. So you need to be cautious in taking business related major decisions this month. Try to play it with the status quo, go with the flow, and do any, before you take any important decisions, make sure to do your proper research and due diligence. Avoid taking any major business financial loans this month to fund any project or anything like that. So overall, try to keep with the status quo and you will be fine. If I talk about finance, in terms of finances, overall, as I said, the financial area is looking strong, especially through the career area. So there could be a chance of a bonus, promotion, salary increment, that kind of thing. Also, there can be some expenditure as well on the cards, especially in the last 10 days or so. So control your spending, watch your expenses, and make important financial decisions after carefully thinking things through. If I talk about health, then overall, the first 2 weeks can be slightly sensitive for your health area, but in the last 2 weeks, the time is looking very good and supportive for your overall health because your ascendant Lord Sun itself will start transiting in the first house. If I talk about love life for single people wanting to get into a relationship, wanting to find someone, the time is looking good. It is looking conducive. So, overall, if you are running a favorable Dasha Bhukti, then there is no surprise if you get into a relationship. For those couples already in a relationship, the time is looking very enjoyable, very pleasurable, and you will just have a fantastic time with your spouse. And there can be some sudden unexpected surprises, and for the most part positive. If I talk about marriage, so for those people wanting to get married, this month can present some suitable type alliances, proposals, but again, you need to not jump into anything really fast. You need to take your time and you need to wait for Mars to first move to the next house before you take any major important marriage related decisions with the proposals that you get this month. For those couples already married, the time is going to be quite enjoyable for the most part. But if you try to do anything behind your spouse's back, if you're not faithful, loyal, honest, transparent, then there can be a sudden break in the marriage as well. So be watchful for that. If I talk about education in terms of those students pursuing primary education like bachelor's, high school, the time is looking to be okay. It is going to be mediocre, not too great, not bad either. Do hard work, stay committed, and you will do fine. If I talk about higher education for those students pursuing PhD, masters, postdoc, those type of program, then the last 2 weeks especially can be quite good for that, and you can make some good academic progress in the latter half of the month. If I talk about travel, in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is looking very good throughout the month. So you can certainly embark on that. In terms of long distance travel journey vacation, the time is looking fine, but I will recommend to take someone with you if you are planning to go on a major long distance journey and do your proper due diligence as well. Finally, children, for those women looking to conceive, the time is looking very good from a planetary general perspective. It is looking to be quite favorable this month. But of course, you will need to check your birth chart, your dasha bhukti for confirmation. In terms of those people having children, the time is looking very good. Your children will be very much obedient, and you will spend a lot of good quality time with them, which will give all of you happiness. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Leo Simha Rashi friends, and I wish you the best. For my Virgo Kanya Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first. Well, in your career house itself this month, you are going to have the very auspicious combination of Jupiter and Venus. So, the two most auspicious planets will be influencing your career house, and your career lord Mercury itself will be in the 11th house. So, lo and behold, it is going to be one of the best months for you career wise. Professionally, you are going to do very well. You are going to gain a lot of recognition, a lot of respect. And if there are any kind of bonus, promotion, salary increment, job transfer that is long overdue, then it can certainly take place this month. If you don't have a job, I highly recommend keep applying, give lots of interviews, because there is a very good chance you can land a new job with a desired salary and benefits package. And that is especially true if you're running a favorable dasha and bhukti. If I talk about business, then overall you need to play it very safe in terms of business area this month. Although overall business activities from a general perspective are looking to be profitable, but you still need to play your cards right, because Mars will be directly impacting the business house where Saturn is placed. So do not take unnecessary risks. Try to keep any type of speculations at a bare minimum, and take any major important decisions only after careful due diligence and thinking things through 10 times. But best to avoid taking any major financial loans and whatnot. If I talk about finance, then overall the financial area is looking very strong this month, especially from your job area, from your professional life, because your wealth lord will be transiting in the career house for a major part of the month, and your career lord itself will be in the 11th house of gains and increase in money flow. So overall financial area is looking to be very positive. Just avoid high risk speculative investments. If I talk about health area, then overall there can be some problems, especially if you are running the Mars dasha or bhukti, then you could suffer from some health issues this month, and it could be unexpected. But if you're running a overall favorable dasha bhukti, then no major reasons to worry. You will have sound health. And even if you do suffer from any unexpected health issue, you will have the power to overcome that, because Rahu in the sixth house will give you ample strength, power, and increased immunity to fight off any diseases and health issues. If I talk about love life, in terms of those single people wanting to get into a relationship, this month is not looking ideal for the same. So be very cautious and avoid jumping into a new relationship impulsively. For those couples already in a relationship, you might actually think of getting married now. You might think of taking the next step and getting married. But do not rush into it. Take your time and then make the decision. If I talk about actual marriage, for those people actually wanting to get married this month, then it is not the best month for that, because Mars will be directly impacting the seventh house and it is your eighth lord. So, best to avoid getting married this month if possible. If I talk about those couples already married, then overall there will be stability, but there can be some aggression, some, because the fire element will be very strong on the seventh house. So you need to basically watch your behavior, how you react, right? So instead of reacting, try to respond, compromise, and make things work if you really care for your spouse. If I talk about education in terms of primary education for those students pursuing high school bachelor's, the time is going to be quite positive. You will do very well in your academics this month. In terms of higher education, those students pursuing master's, PhD program, postdoc, the time is also looking very favorable and you can make remarkable progress in your academics. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is the time might require you to do a lot of traveling, but be very careful when driving your vehicle and do not speed and drive. Watch both sides of the road when crossing. If I talk about long distance travel journey vacation, as in going to a foreign land for a vacation or business trip or career related thing, it is looking to be very positive. So you can certainly embark on the same. Finally, children, in terms of progeny area, for those women looking to conceive, this is not the best month for that. So do not get frustrated. You need to wait for a better time. You need to be more patient. If I talk about those people already having children, then the best thing for you to do would be to engage them in outdoor activities, spend a lot of time with them, go on some nice adventures, and do not just sit at home all day. Maybe even go for a nice walk outside, go to the park. And that way, the Mars impact on your fifth lord will not create that much problems in your relationship. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Virgo friends, and I hope you have a great month of August. For my Libra Tula Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first. Well, this month, your 12th Lord, which also happens to be your ninth Lord, Mercury, will be transiting in your career house itself. So, this indicates foreign connection. So, now that can mean if you're unemployed, the chance of getting a job overseas is looking strong. Or if you're working already in a foreign land, then the chance of progressing, doing better, getting more growth, recognition, and success is stronger. So that doesn't mean that if you're in your homeland, it is bad. Even in your home country, with good communication skills, with your hard work, consistency, loyalty, you will be able to rise and grow as well. Because Saturn's presence in your sixth house is looking to give you a lot of stability in your career area. If I talk about business, then it is not a good month business wise. Your business lord will be transiting in the 12th house in the strong enemy sign of Virgo. This means that incorrect decision making, jumping into any deals or partnerships which might not turn out for the best, investing in something which might not turn out profitable, all these scenarios can play out. Hence, best to stick with the status quo in terms of business area and avoid taking major important business related decisions this month. If I talk about finance, then overall for finances, the last 2 weeks of this month is looking to be quite positive when the Lord of your 11th house of money flow will start transiting in that house itself. Although still there might be a pinch in terms of expenses, and it could be connected to possible medical expenses or any, for in rare cases, it could be hospitalization or any legal fees related matters. So try to control your spending, watch where you invest wisely, and that way you can still save up good money this month. If I talk about health, in terms of health area, it is going to be a good month for you because overall your ascendant lord will be quite well placed. Saturn's presence in the sixth is very strong. Only thing is, if you are running the major or minor planetary period of Mars, then you need to take more care of your health and you need to be more cautious. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, the time is looking to be quite good this month. And there's no surprise if you find someone. For those couples already in a relationship, the time will again be quite smooth unless you do things behind your partner's back. And if if you're not transparent, open, honest with your partner, then it could cause issues. So be watchful of that. In terms of marriage, for those people wanting to get married, this is not a good month for that. And even for finding an alliance or proposal, it is not suitable and you might not find the right match. In terms of those couples already married, then it can be a good time for long distance travel, journey, vacation with your spouse. But overall, there can be some misunderstandings, some quarrels, arguments here and there. So try to be watchful of that and try not to let situation get out of hand. If I talk about education, in terms of primary education, for those students pursuing bachelor's, high school, the time can be a bit of a strain, as in you will need to put in a lot of hard work, effort. You will need to be very focused to get good grades. In terms of higher education, like master's, PhD program, postdoc, those type of students are going to do remarkably well in their academics. So it is looking to be a great time for higher education purposes. If I talk about travel, in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is looking to be great, very supportive, and the same goes for long distance travel journey and vacation. So journeys, travel, everything is supported this month. If I talk about children, for those women looking to conceive in the progeny area, the time is not looking that great. So be a bit cautious the because Mars will be impacting your fifth lord. So you need to take care of your health in general, uh, connected to the progeny area, because even Rahu is placed there. If I talk about those people already having children, then I will say try to spend as much time as with them outdoors. Go outdoors, get some fresh air, go to the park, play some board games, try to stimulate your brain, and that way good conversation will flow. It will be constructive, productive, and a great quality time will ensue. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Libra friends, and I wish you the best. For my Scorpio Vrishchik Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first. This month, the last 2 weeks are going to be very good for you. Reason being, your career lord Sun, the king of planets, itself will start transiting in the 10th house of career, where it gains Digbal status, meaning it will become directionally very strong and powerful to give the best of its results. But it will still be conjunct with Ketu, the south node of the moon, which in a way creates an eclipse type of situation. So you need to be very careful in making important career related decisions. You need to be cautious of your enemies, of people who don't wish you well, of your competitors, of your colleagues, subordinates, whoever it might be. Try not to get yourself involved in any sort of office politics, gossiping, and instead stay fully focused on your work, duties, tasks, and projects, and you will do great. If you're unemployed, there is a good chance of landing a new job opportunity in the last 2 weeks of this month. Let's get to the business aspect. In terms of business area, this month it is looking to be good only after the 21st. where there will be some improvement. Till then, you need to be cautious. You need to take slow and steady business decisions, avoid getting into business partnerships. After the 21st, things will start to smoothen out, and the business prospects, the day to day business activities will start to become more and more favorable. If I talk about finance, then overall, from the financial point of view, it is looking to be a good month because Jupiter will keep aspecting its own house of wealth, and Mars, which is your ascendant lord, will be transiting all month long in the 11th house of gains of inflow of money, which is the Labastan. But since it is in the enemy dual sign of Virgo, you need to make financial decisions in a very smart and prudent way. Avoid making any high risk speculative investments where there is a chance of loss, because it can certainly happen. But if you play your cards right, it can be a financially good month for you. If I talk about health, in terms of health, it is going to be a great month. No major health concerns are foreseen as long as you take good care of your health, you eat the right kind of food, and do some moderate to mild exercise, yoga, meditation, pranayam. Your health will remain at its peak. Lot of immunity, vitality will be experienced. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, this is not the best month for that, although there could be some good prospects that might come your way. So take your time and do not rush or make any impulsive, hasty decisions, because you might have two minds regarding this situation. There might be two prospects who you think are equally good, so you might have a tough time deciding that who is the right person for you. In terms of those couples already in a relationship, the time is looking to be filled with some ups and downs. So you need to be cautious, right? You need to avoid too much quarrels, arguments, disputes, so that any type of major unexpected situation does not prevail. In terms of marriage, for single people wanting to get married this month, for those people looking to settle down, the time after the 21st is looking to be much more better than the previous time. So if your Mahadasha, Antardasha, your natal chart, all these support marriage this month, then it can certainly fructify. For those couples already married, overall, there can be a good time, a lot of harmony, peace, love, romance, because of the Venus Jupiter combination in the eighth house, right? So that is a good scenario playing out, and then Venus will transit to the ninth house. So overall, the time is going to be quite positive for married couples. If I talk about education, in terms of primary education, for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time can be filled with a bit of distraction this month. So you need to really focus and avoid any sort of impulses, temptations, and distractions. If I talk about higher education, for those students pursuing master's, PhD program, postdoc, the time is looking to be good for the most part, and you will do great. If I talk about travel, in terms of short distance travel, journey, vacation, the time is looking fine, but you need to watch your vehicle speed. Do not speed and drive. Watch both sides of the road when crossing, and do not be in a rush. Avoid any sort of road rage type thing. If I talk about long distance travel, journey, and vacation, then the time is looking supportive throughout the month. Finally, children, for those women looking to conceive in the progeny related area, the time is not supportive at all this month. So you need to be patient and wait for a much favorable time. In terms of those people having children, the best thing to do for you would be to engage your children in outdoor activities, adventure, picnics, sports, you know, even walk in the park, whatever, wherever their energy might be expended. It is very important so that the Mars impact on the fifth house does not become damaging. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Scorpio friends, and I hope you have a wonderful month of August. For my Sagittarius Dhanu Rashi friends, let's talk about your career area first. Well, Mars will be in your career house this entire month, which is a good placement because it gains directional strength in the 10th house. But the problematic part is that it is a strong enemy sign for Mars, which is Virgo. And the ruler Mercury is placed in the 8th house, in the enemy sign of Cancer. Saturn's also directly impacting the 10th house and naturally Mars. And there is no protection of Jupiter. So you need to be very cautious this month, career wise. Avoid taking impulsive, hasty career related decisions. You might be in a dual mind this month where you might think of suddenly changing jobs, or you might be very confused as to maybe if you should stay in your job. So I will say just take it easy, be calm, collected, and wait for Mars to move to the next house before you take any major important decision. But it can be a great time for giving interviews. If you're unemployed, then surely go ahead and keep applying to jobs and try to give interviews. The energy of Mars will support you in that. But you need to be very firm with your decisions, with the companies that you apply to, so that there are no regrets later. If I talk about business area, then overall the business area can show some really good gains and rewards this month due to the auspicious combination of Jupiter and Venus in your business house. The business lord is in the 8th house, which means that profits, gains, and benefits from business partnerships can be seen, or from joint ventures. But overall, the combination of Jupiter and Venus especially is showing a lot of profits in your day-to-day business activities, increased revenues, business expansion. But again, due to the business lord being in the 8th, take it easy and try not to get too ahead of yourself. If I talk about finance, then overall the financial area is looking to be positive. The inflow of money will be there because of Jupiter's impact on the 11th house, the 11th lord itself being conjunct with Jupiter. But there will be pressure on your second lord. So it means that money flow will be there, but the wealth accumulation can be lacking somewhat, although nothing too concerning. So just do your best, make good, wise financial investment decisions, and you will have a good month financially. If I talk about health area, then overall the health area is going to be good. I do not see any major health concerns as such. Just take some, just take care, especially if you're like an athlete or something, take care of your knees, of the knee region, right? So take care of your legs, especially the knee region. But other than that, I do not see any health concerns as such. If I talk about love life, for single people wanting to get into a relationship, the time is looking to be strong because your fifth lord will be very powerful. But again, since it will be in the dual sign, you need to be very firm in your decision making. And the same applies for couples who are already in a relationship. You need to be very firm whether you are happy or not with the relationship. Try not to be on the fence, be transparent, and have open communication. And that way your relationship will prosper, or will evolve for the better. If I talk about marriage, for single people or for those people wanting to settle down, get married, this month is good depending upon certain factors, especially if you are running a very favorable dasha, antardasha. And of course, you need to check your natal chart as well. But from a general perspective, it is looking to be quite good for marriage related purposes. but it will be even better when Mercury moves to the ninth house. So if you can wait till then, it will be much better. If I talk about those couples already married, then the time is looking to be quite good. Your overall joint assets will increase. Your marriage can prosper, flourish. Maintain good, transparent communication. Be open, be honest. Overall, the love, romance, passion in your marriage will be at its peak, and you might even get some fun surprises and good news from your spouse. If I talk about education in terms of primary education for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is looking to be very good this month. You can do quite well, but your mind can be a bit distracted with extracurricular activities. So you need to set your priorities. If I talk about higher education for those students pursuing master's, PhD program, postdoc, the time is looking to be quite good in the last 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks are going to be tough, but the last 2 weeks will be the complete opposite. Although at times you will still feel a bit detached from your studies, from your academics, but if you put aside those feelings and you are focused, you will do great. In terms of travel, for short distance travel, journey, vacation, the time is looking to be okay, not that great, not bad either. Drive, do not speed and drive your vehicle, drive with caution. In terms of long distance travel, journey, and vacation, especially to foreign lands, the last 2 weeks of this month is looking to be supportive, not the first 2 weeks. So try to refrain from traveling in the first 2 weeks on any major long distance journey. Finally, children, in terms of those women looking to conceive who are wanting to have children, the time is looking strong. It is looking supportive because the fifth lord will be aspecting the fifth house. But of course, you need to verify your natal chart, your dasha bhukti to confirm the same. If I talk about those people already having children, overall the time will be great. You will spend some really fun outing, adventurous time with your children, and it will be quite memorable. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Sagittarius friends, and I wish you the best. For my Capricorn Makar Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first this month. Your career lord Venus will be transiting in the sixth house in the friendly sign of Gemini, along with the other auspicious planet Jupiter, and from where Jupiter is also aspecting the 10th house of career. Your ascendant lord Saturn is quite well placed, and there are no other malefic afflictions to the career house. So, overall, a great time for professional life, a very progressive month, and especially if you are residing abroad, then you can make even stronger progress because your 12th lord Jupiter is aspecting the career house, and your career lord is conjunct in transit right now with Jupiter itself. So, overall, it is also a great time for landing a new job opportunity if you are unemployed, and you have a stronger chance of getting that job, especially if it is located away from your homeland or native place. If I talk about business, in terms of business area, the time is looking to be quite fruitful because the natural significator of business, which is none other than Mercury, which also controls your Bhagyastan, your ninth house of destiny, luck factor, will be transiting in the house of business itself, which means that effective business deals, negotiations, any type of important business idea implementation, good fruitful discussion in business partnerships, getting good support cooperation from your employees, all this can be seen this month. If I talk about finances, in terms of finances, it is looking to be a strong month due to Rahu's placement in your second house of wealth in its own co-sign of Aquarius. Then you also have your 11th Lord Mars transiting in the ninth house, which is 11 places away from the house that it rules. But one thing is that Saturn will create pressure on Mars and vice versa, which means that you need to be very cautious in money related dealings. You need to invest wisely. You need to control your spending, and you need to just be prudent in general with your money. And that way, you will do great. If I talk about health, in terms of health, it is going to be a fantastic month for you. No health concerns are seen as long as you maintain a good, healthy lifestyle. You do the right kind of things, just common sense, everyday things that people should do to maintain good health. Then you will have no problems whatsoever. Now, let's talk about love life in terms of those single people wanting to get into a relationship or find someone. This month is not looking that ideal for the same, especially at least for the first 3 weeks. It is not that supportive. In the last week, things can start to open up for you. For those couples already in a relationship, the time can be filled with some arguments, quarrels, although minor in the first 3 weeks. But the last week will be amazing. And some people who are in a serious relationship might even think of getting married and settling down, especially after the 21st of August. If we talk about marriage, for those people looking to get married this month, looking to settle down, the time is looking good. I'm not seeing any major concerns. If you are running a good Dasha Bhukti, overall, it is looking to be a good month for marriage related activities. In terms of those couples already married, there will be great communication between you and your spouse. Just keep that transparent, open communication flow going, and it will be a great time for you, very filled with a lot of vitality, youthfulness, and certainly activities which involve, whether it's energy, especially running, jogging, any fitness related activities, sports. If both you and your spouse enjoy that, then it will be great to pursue it even more. If we talk about, now we are finished with the love life, marriage. Now let's talk about education. In terms of primary education, for those students pursuing high school and bachelor's, the time is going to be a bit tough, you can say, because the fourth lord is getting pressure from Saturn, which means that not just for primary education, but even for higher education like master's, PhD program, postdoc, there can be a bit of dilemma, conundrum in terms of higher education. So really get your focus together and really hone in on your goals and objectives. Let's talk about travel. In terms of short distance travel journeys, the time is looking to be good, but do not speed and drive your vehicle. In terms of long distance travel journey and vacation, the time is also looking fine, but do your proper due diligence before embarking on major long distance travel, and try to take someone along with you if you can. Finally, children. In terms of those women looking to conceive, progeny area, this month is not looking that great because your fifth lord is in the sixth house. So you need to be a bit more patient and wait for a better time. In terms of those people already having children, the time is going to be filled with some ups and downs. There could be some quarrels, arguments, disputes, but then there can be some fun times that you can enjoy with your children as well. So it will be a mixed bag result. I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Capricorn friends, and I hope you have a great month of August. For my Aquarius Kumbha Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first. Your career lord Mars will be transiting all month long in the eighth house in the enemy sign of Virgo. There is no protective aspect from Jupiter either, which means that you have to be very cautious career wise this month. Try not to take any major impulsive, hasty decisions. Otherwise, you can regret those later. It is not the best month for even giving interviews, applying for jobs. Try to remain with the status quo and try to fully focus on your duties, tasks, and projects and avoid office politics at all cost. So now let's talk about business. If I talk about business area, then the first 2 weeks are not that great, but the last 2 weeks are going to be quite fruitful and conducive for your business related area because your business lord of sun itself will start transiting in the business house, but it will be conjunct with Ketu. So again, be cautious here and do not be impulsive, do not be hasty. Otherwise, wrong decisions can be made. If I talk about finances, then overall, the financial area is looking to be quite strong this month because Jupiter and Venus are going to be in the fifth house from where they will directly aspect the 11th house of gains, right? It is the 11th house, which is the Labastan. So, especially gains from your past investments can likely play out around here. And overall, your bank balance, your wealth, is looking to increase. Financially, it will be a strong month for you. If I talk about health, then overall for health area, it is going to be a good month, but just do not ignore any type of chronic health issues. Get that checked up ASAP. And also do not speed and drive your vehicle. Drive with caution. If I talk about love life, for those single people wanting to get into a relationship, this month can present you with a lot of opportunities. But due to the fifth lord being in the sixth house, you need to really decide and take your time before jumping into a relationship. For those couples already in a relationship, the time will more or less be quite harmonious, peaceful, filled with a lot of love, romance, happiness, passion. But at times there can be some quarreling, arguments, and disputes as well. In terms of married life, for those people wanting to get married this month, wanting to settle down, the last 2 weeks of this month are looking more supportive than the first 2 weeks. But of course, make sure your dasha bhukti, your natal birth chart also support marriage related activities. For those couples already married, if you were feeling some sort of detachment in your married life, things were not working out in the right way, finally, the marriage ruler sun will start to give strength back to your married life and try to bring back the peace cooperation between couples. If I talk about education, for those students pursuing primary education like master's PhD program, the time is looking excellent and you will do great. In terms of higher education, like those students pursuing master's PhD program postdoc, again, the time is going to be phenomenal for your competitive examinations, for any defense, any research, any type of higher education field, you will do very well. If I talk about travel in terms of short distance travel journey, the time is not looking good at all this month. So try to avoid a lot of quick travel if you can. If you have the option of doing remote work, try to choose that. If I talk about long distance travel, as in journeys, vacation, any business related or career related trips to foreign lands, then the time is looking to be much more favorable and supportive. Finally, children, in terms of those women looking to conceive, who are desiring to have children, this month it is looking to be a good and fruitful time. It is supportive because two wet planets, which indicate fertility, like Jupiter and Venus, are together activating the fifth house. But of course, you need to verify and confirm that by checking your natal chart, the dasha, bhukti, and all these sort of things. For those people already having children, Your relationship with them, for the most part, will be very smooth, harmonious, peaceful, and you will enjoy spending time with them. And there can be some travel involved, as in going on a nice vacation to an amusement park, on a picnic or a road trip, whatever it might be. So I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Aquarius friends, and I wish you the best. For my Pisces mean Rashi friends, let's start with your career area first. Your career lord Jupiter is going to be transiting in the fourth house, from where it will directly keep aspecting its own house of career, and it will also be in conjunction with the other most auspicious planet, Venus, for a major part of the month. So basically, there could be some sudden, unexpected positive changes at the workplace in your professional life. And that could mean in the form of a bonus, promotion, salary increment, desired job transfer, recognition, getting the credit that you deserve, especially if you are running a favorable dasha and bhukti. But if you're not running a favorable dasha bhukti, there could be some sudden unexpected challenges at your workplace which could crop up. So be on guard. But overall, for the most part, this combination is looking auspicious. The aspect of Mars on the 10th house, along with Saturn's aspect. So basically, your career house will be intensely activated, which means some really significant transformation and changes can also take place. But again, as I said before, if you're running a favorable planetary alignment right now in terms of the Mahadasha, Antardasha, then you are going to see some really good and beneficial results. If you don't have a job, this is a great month. Keep applying and give lots of interviews, because landing a new job is definitely a strong possibility. If I talk about business in terms of business activities, business area, this month is not looking that great, or basically you need to be more cautious because Mars will be transiting in your business house in a very strong enemy sign. So avoid taking any impulsive, hasty business decision. Instead, think things through, be careful. And if you use your intelligence, if you use your good judgment and intuition, then you will be fine, and you can actually even make some good, smart decisions for your future business growth and success. It is not a good time to get into a new business partnership, so refrain from that. If I talk about finances, then overall, the financial area is looking to be mediocre this month, not very great, not bad either. But again, if you're running a favorable dasha bhukti, then the financial area is going to be stronger for you as compared to someone who is not running a favorable dasha or bhukti. If I talk about health area, then overall health is going to be good for the most part. I do not see any major concerns. Try not to engage in any extreme outdoor adventure sports or activities this month if possible. If I talk about love life, for those single people wanting to get into a relationship, this month can bring in some good opportunities which can even turn quite serious. Like you might find the right person for you, and it could lead to even marriage down the road. It is that kind of a combination. So be proactive and keep yourself open if you're looking for that. For those couples already in a relationship, there will be a lot of good exchange of communication, transparent, open ideas which will be exchanged, and overall a good quality time will ensue. If I talk about marriage, for single people or those people wanting to settle down, wanting to get married, it is not a good month for the same. So try to avoid getting married this month if possible. For those couples already married, there can be some arguments, quarrels, disputes, some ups and downs that could be there this month. So try to work things out, try to be patient, calm, cool, and collected, and you can ride out the storm, because Mars in the seventh house with the aspect of Saturn on it is not looking the most beneficial for married life. But that will be a time that will also pass as soon as Mars moves to the next house. If I talk about education, primary education for those students pursuing bachelor's high school, the time is looking to be quite good, and unexpectedly you can do very well. Like, you might think that you might only get, let's say, 80% in your examination, whereas you might actually get 90% or more. In terms of higher education, those students pursuing master's, PhD program, postdoc, the time is looking to be a bit tough. You will need to put in a lot of hard work, effort, and then only you will be able to get the results that you seek. If I talk about travel, in terms of short distance travel journeys, the time is looking to be quite fruitful throughout the month, but the same cannot be said for long distance travel journey and vacation. If you can try to avoid doing that too much this month, it will be better for you. Finally, children, in terms of progeny, for those women looking to conceive, who are desiring to have children, it is going to be a good time, but basically you will need to verify that by checking your dasha bhukti, the position of your fifth lord in the natal chart. All these factors need to be verified. For those people already having children, it is going to be a great time, a lot of quality time where you will exchange great ideas, communication will be great, and you can even play some sports, go out, do some outdoor recreation activities with your children, and overall the relationship will be quite happy, peaceful, and enjoyable. So I believe I covered all the major life areas for my Pisces Meen Rashi friends, and I wish you the best.